World Trigger.
Before we begin, I have a quick question for those listening. In the comment section or via email, tell us what is your favorite grouping out of the available groups right now in World Trigger that's being tested, and why. And if you don't have a favorite group, how about you tell me your least favorite and why?
Yeah, definitely do that.
My favorite is Suicide Squad, obviously, because Makumo's in it, and I like the girl a lot. I like her so much I don't remember her name.
Katori.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
They're my favorite. I like their dynamic, and I want to see how each of the characters in the squad grow. Even OG the sniper.
Yeah. No, I'm also on the Suicide Squad train, just because I like Sua. Like, Sua's really like showing out this arc, so I'm enjoying watching him be a leader and all that stuff.
Right.
Brian, what's your favorite pairing? Do you have like a favorite grouping of border people?
Suicide Squad is my favorite so far.
Right.
I want to see more out of Ninomiya Squad.
Right, me too.
That
was gonna be my thing. That's my second favorite squad as far as what I'm most interested in. That's how I guess I really framed the question. What squad are you guys most interested in?
Yeah, I feel like I'm most interested in Ninomiya Squad just because, he had to have constructed that team for a reason, Like, he definitely put that shit together with an idea in mind, and we still haven't seen it yet.
Aside from just straight up blackmail.
Huh?
Aside from just blackmail.
Yeah, that. Yeah, I was going to say, the only thing we've really seen from it is him kind of fucking, getting on, and what's his name? Emma?
Yeah,
Emma, yeah.
Emma's case and all that shit. Like, but I'm really curious to see what his plan is with that squad.
Yeah, I think he just like picked them because they're not going to argue with him. Because he's got Chica on that squad, who's not going to like debate him.
She is subordinate.
Yeah, I think he just picked the people who are most likely to just do what he says and not really put up a fight about it. But that's just my take. I think Mizukami Squad is my favorite, like my second favorite.
And why is that, Chris?
I don't know. He's just, it's interesting to see him operate. He's very like, he's almost kind of like the same kind of controlling, but more like under the radar type of thing. He's not as direct.
As far as him and Ninomiya.
Yeah.
Right. And this is Broccoli Head we're talking about.
Yeah.
Mizukami, the one that's doing the whole game on his own.
Yeah, the Shogi guy.
Oh, the Shikamaru.
Yeah, the Shikamaru of the group. But yeah. Anyway, let's get into it. This is World Trigger Chapter 220, the Away Mission Test, Part 18. And we are about to get the final results for the day. And overall, actually, we start with the overall rankings. Suicide Squad moved up a rank. They are now 10th place out of 11.
Sweet.
Yeah. Very excited for Suicide Squad. And not only that, they were basically they in the day rankings, like just taking into account the points they earned that day, they were 4th place. And mostly because of Osamu coming through with the big brain, galaxy brain fucking answers on the test.
Many ridges.
Yeah. So many ridges. So yeah, they're there now. Katori is looking at the where her squad mates are in the rankings. Rokuro and Hana. Hana is in Kitazo's team, so she's like in 10th place in the day rankings. So both of her teammates are in the bottom 2, which kind of bums her out. It's not great. But they get together to continue talking about tomorrow. The points for the battle sims are doubled in the next day coming, so there's probably going to be a little bit more focus on that in the next day, and I think that's when they're just going to throw some more fuckery at them to kind of like put the pressure on them in terms of the battle sims, because they're not just going to make them do battle sims all day, I guess. I bet. Everybody's just looking at Mizukami Squad being like, damn, he is dominating right here. Like, they're close in the rankings because, like, by a couple like 100 points or so, but Mizukami's squad is like head and shoulders above everyone else.
Yeah. Even second place, like over 100 points more.
Yeah.
Where everybody else is probably like, no more than like 10 or 20 points.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy. They also learned that they can see the information of the data that they accumulated over the enemies that they faced. So I guess like this would allow them to like plan their strategies a little better, knowing what their enemies are capable of, because usually they just, I guess, gone into this blind in terms of the enemy's skill set. So,
and it's not. I feel like this is what's implied, right? Like even though the wording is actually much more ambiguous than I'm used to when it comes to World Trigger, but when they talk about when they're like, oh, I'm not sure, like what the missing things represents as far as what's shown and what's not. All that really means is that's what they've shown so far. Mm-hmm. All the information there is based off of what they've done in their battles. So if they didn't show all their skills, you know what I'm saying? It's still a mystery. So that's part of the strategy too, to not, play your whole hand, especially early on. That's why most of you know what I'm saying? I'm sure by the time the second and third round rolls around, everyone's going to use their ace at some point. Yeah. Except for Mizukami.
Yeah.
He's going to be good.
Yeah.
For most of the game.
Basically. But yeah, that's a good way to put it. They're hoping that more information will be available to them as the game continues, but they don't know. At the end of the day, they're just congratulating each other for actually like going up a step. And it's dinner time basically across the league here. Meanwhile, in Murakami's squad, they're just Murakami. So I thought I said Mizukami. My bad. Murakami squad is pretty satisfied that they made it. They didn't do great on the special exam, but they made it far enough. I don't know where they rank exactly in terms of the day. Yeah, Murakami's tied for fifth place with two other squads. I believe the operator of this group actually like raises her hands and is like, wait, we should probably strategize for tomorrow because we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if they're going to toss another special assignment at us. Right. So we should decide that now, especially being as that they really couldn't decide earlier on.
Before you press forward, there was a question brought up, right? Which we already know what the case is with Mizukami, but the operator in Suwa Squad, while they were still talking about the information that they got and they was breaking it down, they with Mizukami being head and shoulders ahead of everybody else, it shows that not only were they, like violating everybody in the battles, but all of the work is getting done super efficiently and like, you know what I'm saying, faster than anybody else. So people are seeing in the seats. You know what I'm saying? If that's not obvious, people are already on it. And I don't think it's here, but later on, I think Suwa makes a point that that's on his mind and that he has some ideas as to why that's happening. And I mean, writing's on the wall. I think they know what's going on. It's going to be interesting to see how they go about challenging that.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, back to Murakami's squad. As they're discussing as to like what to do, really, the operator opens up like a comm because they can like talk to each other like non-verbally as well through Trion bodies. And the operator actually kind of coaches Murakami to kind of do kind of what she wants. She kind of like takes the reins a little bit. And she basically tells him to ask her what she thinks so that she has an avenue to speak at this moment, just to get everybody's attention like towards her because he's the leader. Obviously they'll do what he says.
Right.
And she volunteers Kurauchi should be the one to handle the next special assignment if there is one. And Kumagai can control the units in battle. Because Kurauchi uses different variety of bullets, like Kumagai can basically use him as she would a Nasu unit. Because they both use special bullets. It's a similar thing. She can probably get the grasp of it pretty easily. But yeah, she's basically saying rather than focus on individual units, you may find it easier to think about the broader team tactics. Good
point.
Yeah, and she basically tells Murakami to be like, if you agree with me, then say, let's go with that plan.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I like that she's trying to like she's helping him and helping herself out at the same time because she doesn't want to make it seem as if she's taking control of the team away from Murakami, but she, while at the same time instilling confidence, like, hey, this is how you should go about it. It's just super healthy. Well, a lot of the same stuff we always enjoy World Trigger for, because nobody here is a goody two shoes. They all have the same goal in mind. It's, you know what I'm saying? No one's here for just the about goodness sake and being friends with everybody. In her mind, she wants things to be done a certain way. Therefore, she's going to communicate with her team members to get things across. I love that so much about this series.
Yeah, definitely. And Murakami is like, yeah, let's go with that, I guess.
Right.
So they're pretty happy about it.
He also says, my bad. Towards the end of that conversation, and this is the last thing I want to point out with these pages.
Yeah, I was just about to point it out myself. I think it's interesting.
Well, yeah, I think you could expand more, but Murakami makes a point to her, to the girl that was trying to give him advice about being a leader, to say that, yo, I got it. You don't got to worry about stressing that anymore. That's super important because, he took the advice in stride as honestly a leader and leader of communication should when someone's explaining how they want things to be communicated. I love the maturity. It also shows that, leadership could take many different forms.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's interesting that, like, Murakami is not a very loud-spoken person. In fact, like, I remember him in earlier chapters being kind of a sensitive kid, very soft-spoken. And I think, like, it's interesting that his side effect being, like, he goes to sleep and he learns, not to say that, like, he's going to wake up the next day and be a better leader, but I think he's very much used to being in a mindset of always, like, learning and not really having too much of an ego about himself. I think that's kind of interesting about it because he's got to lose in order to get better, in theory, like if he's using a side effect to any extent.
For sure.
So, yeah, I just think that's an interesting little quirk of his character. And maybe I'm reading into it, but I think, like, that's a little bit of a subtext that that's going on here. Meanwhile, Utagawa squad is making dinner. Yuma and this new character, I forget his name right now, but they're just kind of talking about it. This new guy is just like, man, we really fell apart after the first half of those battle sims. But Yuma is like, we had a lot of tough squads, we had Mia's squad and Kodera's group, and he's actually kind of shocked. He's like, you think Wakamura's team is tough? He's like, well, yeah, they have Hughes, and he knows me.
Yeah,
he knows me really well. So that's a good thing. But yeah, they're basically talking about the Sims more than anything else. So yeah, they're just cooking. Meanwhile, the kid on what's his name, Kakizaki's squad, they're talking about, he didn't really do amazing in the special assignment, but he's he wants, like, Utagawa is going to give him another shot to do it if they get another one tomorrow, and he's like, yeah, I'll do it, of course, I'll try even harder. It's a very sweet little moment because I know these kids are, like, among the youngest of the border agents, so it's nice that there's, like, this positive reinforcement going on. Meanwhile, in OG squad, the Suji, that's this guy's name. Suji is basically asking Ikoma to take the battle simulation a little more seriously, because I guess he's not. But at the end of the day, Ikoma's not, like, really receptive to it. He's kind of, like, weird like that.
Yeah, I mean, that was the point. He's taking it. He's not taking by him not taking it seriously. It's kind of just how he operates in general.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what he's asking. He's asking him to kind of be above himself.
Yeah.
But just this, which that kind of brings up an interesting point of view because someone else on the squad actually says that that's kind of who he is, and that's what I think I'm repeating myself, but that's what you had to expect.
Yeah.
And then OG kind of reinforces that by saying that, yeah, I put the squad together totally with that intent. Like, not really with the intent to build and improve on whatever, but to take it exactly how it is. He uses the term fun, But to me, what that really says is, really weird and awkward dynamics having to clash. I mean, look at these personalities.
Yeah. I remember Suji not being very good, like, around girls.
OG don't even like Ikoma. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, they fought. They like.
Yeah, they kind of have a natural beef. You know what I'm saying? They have different styles in life and everything. Everything about them is different. OG's low key one of my favorite characters. He's not in my top 3, but he's like top 5, top 7.
Yeah, OG's great.
He's a smart guy. I have an affinity for the intelligent ones.
Yeah, and he really makes a good point about how, like, well, I don't think we need to get fantastic scores all around, you know? Like, I don't even think the top brass thinks so. And the young blood that Josh seems to hate so much is like, wait, you don't really think they care? And
you're right, I do hate
the prodigy that Josh hates more than anything.
Because, like, how many prodigies are there? No, that's not the problem. I think that was part of the problem, though. That it was like, oh, another one? Another young... No, whatever.
Yeah.
It's okay. I love them all.
Anyway, OG is just like, well, look, think about Tachikawa. He's always on an away mission. He's also the #1 agent overall in border.
Sure.
Can you picture him taking this test? And everybody's like, all the A rank agents are like, no, he's a fucking idiot.
Right. Like, yeah, good point.
Yeah. So yeah, he's just basically, and OG, I guess, like, gets to the meat about what this is really about, which I agree with. Is
right, 100%. Yeah, he's got it.
Yeah,
that's it.
So this test is all about how we key agents tackle challenges and solve problems. That's what I think they're looking for.
That's it. And I mean, the best evidence to that, in my opinion, is the difference between this and the rank wars. The rank wars obviously test those things as well, but more geared towards the combat sense, because that's what they have to do, fight neighbors. This is way more specialized, and it makes that point more obvious, like I said.
Yeah, definitely.
Because what else? If not fighting, what other other issues out in the field?
Right.
Issues of chemistry and issues of resourcefulness, of quick thinking, et cetera.
Yeah, people skills.
Everything outside of fighting. Right.
Yeah.
OG's got it. They won.
Yeah.
All of them. All the A-rank agents was like, yep.
Yep.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Kodera Squad are kind of like going over their day as well. They got 82 points individual on the special assignment. So, we're doing good. And Katora thought that it was a 90-point answer for sure, but
you was wrong.
Katora, they actually cited Katora last chapter. I remember they pointed out something specific she said. So, she was on the right path, and 82 is still a great grade. I'm not going to lie.
B-?
Yeah.
B?
Right.
Yeah.
Any
That's
teachers
still good.
out there?
Better than a C+.
I would say B+.
B- is solid.
I would say B+ because 90 would be A. Like A-.
I thought 90 is like a B+, and then no. Wow. 85. Okay. 80 is a B-. 79 to 81 is a B-. 82 to 87 is a B. 88 to 91 is an A. 92 to 99 is an A. I said A-. I meant A- before.
Yeah.
And it's an A, and then 100 to A+.
Yeah, I mean, if there are
any there we go. I broke it down. That's what it should be.
If there are any teachers out there that know I want to confirm or deny anything we're saying, please let us know. We'd like to be accurate on this podcast.
I know what an F is. 55.
That's an L.
Yeah. I know that.
Yeah. That should be the actual grades. It shouldn't be F anymore. You just put L on the paper.
Your ass get beat.
Oh my God. Don't let me be a teacher. I'll just put L's on people's papers.
You losing your Xbox privileges for a whole month, nigga.
Oh my God.
That's what that means.
Well, there's Katora's B+ answer, I suppose. So they're just kind of figuring out, what to improve. And Okudera, I think his name is, actually brings up the ideas hey, why don't we just call Azuma and pick his brain. And they're like, I don't really want to bother another person on a different squad for this. And he's like, nah, he's probably just sitting around. If you show him you're serious, I bet he'll give you an honest answer. And that's where the chapter ends. I thought, oh, right. Azuma's with Ninomiya.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's where the chapter ends.
He thought he had his own squad right now, right? Because he's such a leader.
Yeah. But anyway, that was 220. Josh, what did you think about this chapter?
Okay, so what I thought about this chapter, general thoughts, information dump type of chapter, I guess because there's not action, so it's, that signature world trigger giving you, piece of the world just through characters' dialogue. I enjoyed it. But there was, I feel like, a very clear message in one of the conversations with the team that that I think is the essence of World Trigger, like I always say. And that's in with Murakami's group, right? We was breaking it down a little bit earlier, but I wanted to make a point to say that, when they brought up Kumagai, the girl, basically taking on a different role, right, in order to just change things up. They mentioned that, maybe having to control, more units than just her own and not focused on the actual, individual, step-by-step process of battle, it would probably help her, right? And maybe give her a better perspective on the overall pacing of the battle, or, do you mind?
Go for it.
Yeah. So I want to find the actual words they were using. It's like over here, right? So, yeah, they say rather than focusing on individual units, you may find it easier to think about broader team tactics, right? Which, I guess I had to bring the example to like video games, right? Like when I would play like competitive Pokemon, right? Some people are really good battlers, like I'd like to think myself, you know what I'm saying? And some people were really good team builders, and the best players were those that could team build and play at both the high level, right? I've never been that good of a team builder, only because I never applied myself that much to it. And because I had a lot of people that like to build teams and I would just like to play. But with that said, I started to improve in my play when I started to learn more about the team building aspects. Because, in order to team build, you had to have an understanding of the metagame, of like what people are using, what things you need to look out for or be prepared for, right? And me learning just a little bit about that aspect of the game improved my battling, because I felt like my battling had kind of hit a wall where I wasn't really improving. But then I just, started learning in a different area, and it improved this other area. And I think the word for that, I'm sure there's a better term, but what I want to say is like non-linear progression, right? Non-linear improvement. Because Kuma has hit a wall combat-wise. That's been the case since we've seen her in her fight against Murakami. That was kind of one of her insecurities, that she's just, she second-guesses herself or makes certain mistakes, and, people feel like she has a little bit more talent than what she shows. This is the type of thinking that leads to major improvements, in my opinion. And it's subtle. I mean, what her focusing on tactics, maybe she'll just get a better understanding of the flow of battle. And if not, just fighting in general, at least her teammates, so that if she has to go back to just controlling her own single units, she just has better chemistry. That's going to help her in her individual fighting. Yeah. It just works. And then just a second example with Murakami, right? I mean, he's not the leader of his team, right? No. The dude with the lion eyes, the Brock looking ass nigga, right? He's the leader, you know what I'm saying? But Murakami was always the ace of his squad, but I'm sure maybe in the back of his mind, he always, not in the back of his mind, maybe he always looked at it like, I'm just not the leader type. That's not what I am. And you may not feel like you're suited for a certain role, but that doesn't mean you should hold yourself back from learning and improving in those small, in those different areas. Again, that non-linear improvement, so that it can improve what you are focused on. Just broadening your perspective can help you so much, with many aspects of your life and what you're particularly focused on. Okay, those are my thoughts for World Trigger. Awesome chapter, and I really like this exchange with the team. As a matter of fact, I think this is low-key my second favorite team now.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Nice.
Not Ninomiya Squad anymore. This is what I'm most focused on.
Nice. Yeah, it was a good moment for them. Brian, did you have any thoughts about this chapter?
Not really. It was a good chapter for me, but it's a classic World Trigger chapter. Just a lot of explanations.
Yeah. These are definitely chapters that are better when the series is weekly, but we say that a lot around here. And it's mostly because we miss World Trigger being weekly. But that being said, I also really enjoyed this chapter. I really like I hope that we're getting a little bit more into Azuma next chapter, because he's always been just an interesting guy. Used to be A rank #1, just like used to lead his own squad. And I wonder what happened to the guy, because he's such a like sagely fit like presence among these agents. And I feel like he forms these B rank squads with people he finds a lot of potential in, and he's just training them. It's like a really good coach, like in like some kind of sports team, like when you're young, when you're just like, you like to help people, like young people along their way and find themselves. And it's Azuma will probably, if everything goes the way I think it is, I think Azuma will end up low-key being one of my favorite characters.
Natural born teacher.
Yeah, I just like his vibe.
Same.
Yeah, and he's not that old. He's like 25, but.
And it's like a stark contrast from characters like the wind sword guy.
Ikoma?
No, that's the whirlwind. The guy with the black trigger.
Jin?
Jin. Because, it's funny. Usually in series, they only have room for one of those kind of sagely characters, and they kind of takes, they have like a few different roles. But Jin and Azuma are kind of the same while also being different. They both have that sagely, like they know. Like they're kind of wiser beyond their years. You could tell when they ask certain questions, like they already know the answers. They're just trying to see how you think, and they want you to think a certain way. They're both like that. Mm-hmm. But, Asuma's much more reserved, and we still need to learn a lot more about him, And I think more, I guess, teacherly? That's not a word. But he has more of I feel like Azuma has more of a drive to teach, where Jin just kind of does his own thing. You know what I'm saying? But they're both sagely.
Yeah.
They're both very calm. They're both like calm veteran presences. Like you feel like if they're around, things are going to be okay.
Yeah. I just want to heal Ashihara so you could do this weekly again.
Oh, please, Ashihara, I'm sending my energy.
Although, I mean, I just got Crunchyroll and I have World Trigger's anime like in my queue, because I do want to watch like the later seasons, because I've only seen the first one where the animation wasn't great. And now I've seen that they've like upgraded it. And I'm like, I just want to support it. So they keep giving them these anime.
Word.
But yeah, World Trigger's great. Not so much to say about it, because, it is just like a lot of dissection, and we already talked a lot about it throughout the recap. So without further ado, also let us know what you guys think, though. If you guys have any thoughts that we haven't touched on, please let us know. Comment below, and we'd love to hear from you guys.